Hey, Black Bat. How's it going? Can I see your power grid? I think you're looking at most of it right now. So, I've got pretty much a standard spread of a couple of coal power grids and a couple of oil power grids. This is my most recent addition to the power grid. So here we have the turbo fuel power grid. And as you can see, I'm making lots of the cherry juice and a little bit of a copper top back up there. With, of course, the most efficient use of all the products, including the byproducts. I also have a little bit of a starter diluted fuel power grid because, as far as I know, this is the most efficient use of oil. So if you want the most bang for your buck, you probably want to go with diluted fuel. I like to do a little bit of everything, mostly just for like display and, you know, funsies. But so diluted fuel is usually your best investment as far as return on oil. And there's your Mega Oil. The most efficient is diluted to turbo. Now that's something I was exploring, so I'm already doing that right now. Again, my turbo fuel is powered by diluted fuel, which apparently stopped making fuel, so now I gotta go go check on that real quick. Hold on. I thought I was making tons of fuel. What's going on here, buddy? I don't know, I must have ignored a pipe or something. Holy crap. I thought I had tons of fuel, but apparently I had water. Ah, shit. Hold on. Always something, ain't it? I forgot to pump the water for all the stuff. BRB, you know how it is in Satisfactory, you're always putting fires out, so just take a second. Need one of those. And one of those. And some more of that. Always something, ain't it? Come on, click. And then sometimes the computer doesn't work, so you gotta wait until the computer catches up. I thought I had plenty of water, but every time you think you got plenty of something, your factory will remind you you don't have enough of something. Now that should be much better. Okay, so as I was saying before my factory interrupted me, I think I got plenty of water here. You do the math on stuff, right? I used to, but this is a chill playthrough where I'm not worried about exact numbers. I used to do all the math. That's why I kind of know like the best answers, but I haven't played this in a while, and sometimes the updates change the math, and so I used to do all the spreadsheets and calculations and stuff like that, and so now I just do it by visual. So the fun thing I like about Satisfactory is even if you don't do any math at all you have to do is just check on something that's low and fill it up. And then you check on your other things and you see that it's full. So see, I don't need any more heavy oil. So that's how I do the math right now. I do the math by click on thing and see if it needs more things. If it doesn't need more things, you're good. If it does need more things, then you need to do something about it. So anyways, I figured it out pretty quickly. Like I said, even though I didn't know why I was running low on stuff, now I do. It was water, and I might even need another fuel to kick up. So anyways, so you said the diluted fueled turbo is the most efficient, and so that might be true, but I haven't done that math yet, because the last time I checked, per cubic meter of oil, I believe straight diluted fuel is still the most efficient, because by the time you run a turbo fuel off of the diluted fuel, depending on how you do it, I'm assuming you mean through a blender, even though there's other ways to get to turbo fuel from diluted fuel, because I suppose you could. Nope, that's heavy. I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Forget what I just said. So I'm assuming you meant through this formula. Oh, there's the other one. So I haven't even made that one yet. Let's make that one right now, just to see if this is what you meant. So let's say you wanted to go with this recipe. Where's my pipe? There it is. So here is a fuel recipe that uses compacted coal that makes turbo fuel. So got the compacted coal, got the diluted fuel, and so if this is the recipe you're talking about, then that potentially might be math to check. And so, but you have to remember all the machines required to achieve said recipe, which is where the math gets complicated, because by the time you burn all the energy to make the alternate recipe, you may not be actually producing more energy than you're making. So instead of doing all the fancy math, by the way, one time I did a build where I just built all of the different recipes and gave them all the same amount of, oil, just to find out, by brute force, which recipe actually produces the most amount of net energy. And so that's what I love about this game. It's like just complicated enough where the math isn't that easy. Like I said, there is a way to do it mathematically. I just don't want to do the math. So I do math for a living, so I just do this for fun. A 50 gigawatt fuel plant. Yeah, so it's per 30 cubic oil is 6K power from diluted to turbo. Yeah, I use that one. I think I had like 60 refineries. And you might be right. This might actually be the final boss of the most efficient use of diluted fuel to turbo fuel recipe. And if that's true, then that's great, and that's what I love about this game is what you can find out by trial and error, or you can just be super math nerd and figure out all of the math answers before you do anything. I know both ways to do it, and so even though I can easily figure out what the math dictates is the most efficient use of oil, again, sometimes I like to just turn my brain off and just do it the old-fashioned way. For example, you can build every recipe and then see if you give it, a standard amount of oil, like whatever, per 10 cubic meters or per 100 cubic meters or whatever, how much power you can actually get out of it, which can easily be done by, isolating power grids and stuff like that. And so that's what I did before, and that's how I figured out that like diluted fuel was the most efficient, because again, even though turbo fuel, in your head you think turbo fuel is the most efficient, like by the time you build the supporting structures to fund the alternate recipe, I think diluted fuel still was king, just raw diluted fuel, but again, they may have patched that since I've done that experiment. That was like a long time ago. I haven't even checked the recent math to see if the math changed or whatever. And so maybe, they nerfed it or tweaked it so that it's not so overkill. Because it used to be like just game-breaking overkill, where it's like, and it made no sense because like, how is adding water to oil like adding more energy to it? If anything, it decreases the energy that you can harvest out of the refining process. So that was just dumb. But that's why a lot of people didn't think that was the answer, because they were like using logic, like real life logic to figure out if that was the most efficient use. Anyways, so there's my turbo fuel. You probably can already guess what my opening starter power plant was. You got any trains in your world? Not yet. I probably will later. I love trains. I love making trains to move stuff around. So this is usually a train station right here. That's usually my first train station, is the Northern Oil deposits. So this was my starter base, and it's definitely going to have a central train station at some point. This is going to be Central Train Station. But does that look familiar? You've probably seen a factory like that. Hey, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. So you probably already know, if you've done Northern Forest before, where my starter base is. So good old, where's my power? What the heck? My power's cut. See, this is what I'm talking about. Every time you think your factory's running correctly, then you done goof it. I done goofed. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That's weird. It's a good thing that hover pack has some glide on it, or else I would have died just then, because I thought this was all powered. There you go, buddy. Power. Good job, power. You freaking idiot. So anyways, I think you already know the answer. You already knew this was my starter power grid. So here was my start. Of course, that's the first coal you'll find in Northern Forest. This was my starter power grid, which I usually don't spend too much time on coal because it's kind of time consuming and not that great return on power investment. So it's comfortably maxed out, so I'm not worried about any power crashes or anything anytime soon. So I have to pick up a bunch of coal. I don't remember doing that. Oh, I thought I picked up coal. So there's my starting power grid. My next power grid project is going to be the good old nuclear power plant city, which is such a pain in the ass. And I almost know for certain, without doing any math, that the return on investment with nuclear power is shit in this game. It is so not worth the time and effort by the time you actually get to the power plant. And all the radioactive hazards and just all the logistics and supporting structures and build time and all that stuff. And all for what? For some tiny little blip of energy? Not a fan. So, anyways, there was starter power grid. And then after I maxed out technology, there's tiny little supplemental power grids, good old geothermals. Geothermal is always the best power in the game because it's free energy. It's free real estate. So, geothermal is the best, but it's kind of hard to find, and there aren't that many. So I already grabbed all three in the area. Let me see if I can get up here. So then my next power grid was probably, as you can guess, the next big old chunk of oil. Not this little patch. This little patch is usually my first technology oil. Like, I usually use the first clump of oil just for plastic and oil production. And then I usually hop over here and make an oil power plant. So I think you already kind of guessed this was going to be my next. Nuclear is the most efficient energy. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I've built many nuclear plants, and the return on investment, again, by the time you do all of the structures, all of the materials needed to make Nuclear City, just to build a little nuclear plant, it feels so inefficient. It might technically be, barely just efficient enough to justify the cost. I still feel like it's not, and I'm sticking with that. But anyways, so once again, my brain muscle memory goes to diluted fuel power plants. So once again, here is pretty much the first diluted power plant that I did from this build. And so you probably already guessed where I am. Yes, I'm in, the oil sea. And so, and I could combine all this oil to make some super mega oil power plant, but it was good enough. Like I said, after I built this power plant, and I could still make this bigger. I don't even think I even maxed out all the oil in here. I just quickly threw it all together and, called it good enough. So I could max out all the oil in this area and then max out this power plant, but again, I didn't really feel the need to do that. So anyways, there's the answer to your question. My power plants are, first was my coal plant, power plant over here. Second was my oil sea power plant, diluted fuel. And then my third was the Northern Oil Mountain turbo fuel test area, which again, like I said, sometimes I like to just kind of test it by visuals instead of doing all the math. But and then I already grabbed all the geotherms in the area, and then my next project is going to be the nuclear power city. And so Yay! Everybody loves nuclear power except me. I hate nuclear power. I really do. Sometimes I just hate building it. Even like you said, even if it is technically one of the best, returns on resources. I mean, I don't doubt that uranium returns more energy than per cubic meter of oil. What I'm saying is, by the time you build Nuclear City to power the nuclear power plant, I kind of doubt the return on investment is still better than like just a oil refinery power plant. Which I'd like to see the math on that, but I've never actually done the math on that. I'm pretty sure it's not that much better. It may be like maybe slightly better, like 0.01, watts more per second or something like that, but I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. Just file me under seriously doubt. But we can check the latest patch and do the math and see if that's true or not. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, dude, I'd love to keep chatting. I got to go grab some breakfast real quick. I'm just going to leave the stream running. I'll come back to it because I don't want to kill it and make another stream. So I'll just leave this stream running. I'm going to go grab some breakfast, BRB, enjoy the scenery while I'm gone, and we can talk some more Satisfactory. See you in a couple minutes. And I'm back. Sorry I stepped away for a minute there. I had to do human things. You know how it is. It's always something with these human bodies. It's like, feed me. I gotta poo. I gotta sleep. Wee. I can't wait till our robot bodies replace all this organic garbage we have to lug around everywhere we go. But or just be pure energy. I don't even think I want a robot body in the future. I just want to be like pure energy, where I don't have to like change my oil or anything like that, or certain parts get rusty and fall apart, whatever, blah blah blah. Instead, hopefully, future technology, we can just use bodies made of pure light or energy or something, and then that never require maintenance. That would be my cup of tea. How about you guys? Because I bet even robots will get allergies or something. Because you know how physics is. It's always something with physics. Can't ever have nice things. What in the world? Okay. I was like, click the button. While I'm here, might as well just make a hypertube since in the area. Might as well. Dang it. So, Black Bat, I don't know if you're still here or not, but I enjoyed our little chat about the maximum efficiency of resources and return on investment. So yeah, I think you illustrated perfectly why this game appeals to me so much, because in real life I'm an engineer, and we robots and math nerds love to have these kinds of conversations, but lately I've been getting in more touch with my human side, and so as exciting as the math equations are, I've been, just doing things for fun and not figuring out the absolute most maximum efficient way to do things. And so sometimes it's fun to just to screw around and do silly things. So yeah. But like I said, that's another thing I like about this game is that you can do things visually without having to do all the math. And so that's actually how I figure out a lot of things. But we're getting ready to build a nuclear power plant to see where this update has taken that direction. Because again, not a fan, but maybe they finally made the time and effort worth it, as opposed to the usual garbage they're selling you. Where's that pole at? There it is. Good enough. Okay. Because last time I checked, it was barely, just barely worth the time and effort, but not really. And an entrance, and a purple, and there we go. Voila! Now we have the Oil Sea Power Station tube up and running. Anyways, I'm going to click off the audio, so if anybody wants to chat, just hit me up in chat. I'm just going to click off the microphone and you can watch me play and share your thoughts and feelings. Okay, microphone off. Hey Mark, how's it going? Bro, that Jim Bob debate last night was a poop show. Yeah, kind of standard fare for Animalverse these days. I think he did okay, but not great. Uh, you were the only person who believed in small government. See, that's the funny thing. Even though Flow State claims he's also an anarchist libertarian, he has a real hard time putting it into words. And so, actually, Flow State is pretty close to my views. He's not crazy about the religion part, and so that's why him and Jim Bob were going at it. And so Flow State's actually also a libertarian, probably ANCAP as well. But he's not a fan of the morality debates, and that's why him and Jim Bob are going at it so hard. But yeah, it feels like it sometimes, doesn't it? It feels like I'm the only one that actually defend small governments and stuff, because there's a lot more Jim Bobs out there and Andrew Wilsons than there are IFIs, because there's still a large group of people out there that think that big government is the answer to our problems. And so it's an uphill battle, that's for sure. Some days it feels like it's just me all by myself, but but yeah, there's a couple other people that are friendly to my views, even though they don't really properly support them and whatnot. But I bet this ramp's gonna go right into that mountain. Dang it. Dang these train ramps. Anyways, I'm a Christian and conservative libertarian. They just act like you just as authoritarian as they are. Yeah, Mark, so this is a huge problem with our society. Again, there's a lot of people who somewhat identify as conservatives or Christians or whatever, and not enough libertarians that know and understand how human nature works. And so hold on a second, let me think for a second. So the default traditional Christian answer, especially the big churches, the Catholics, the Orthodox, probably your typical Mormon, shit, I don't know, Lutheran, Methodists, Anglicans, those types. Those people are almost like programmed to think in terms of authoritarian governments. And so, no surprise, when it comes down to, political debates, they always defend authoritarian governments to death, and which is, to me, kind of counterintuitive, because even though, obviously God's an authoritarian, duh, we get it. So yes, oh shit, okay, man, I did that wrong. Hold on. See, this is why I can't talk in games at the same time. Hold on. Train turns. Oop. Oh man, I'm getting old. I can't talk in game at the same time. Hold on a second. Let me finish this rant and then I'll finish the thought. 2, 3, turn. Okay. So, oh fuck, hold on. 2. Then ramp goes down. So obviously God's an authoritarian, and his kingdom is a monarchy, and his kingdom is all about, that sort of mentality. The humans can't figure out that's not what's on earth. This isn't God's kingdom on earth. God's kingdom is the church, and the church is currently being managed by humans, and so that's where their brain disconnects. They don't understand that you can't do a one-to-one translation of God's kingdom and his monarchy on earth, because then they'll say, well, that's why the guy with a funny hat gets to decide who gets to be king, and then he is the God, king, emperor, or whatever. And so, no, that's wrong and false. And so, since humans are in charge, the opposite is true. You have to assume the powers that be are going to become corrupt and fail by the hands of men. Therefore, you have to minimize the failure as much as possible, which is why you need the libertarian approach of making government as small and weak as possible, and put the power back into the hands of the citizens, who are hopefully mostly good and intelligent people, but are definitely not. And there's the debate. And so, if it's mostly evil retards, you don't want like any sort of monarchy or authoritarian government, because it'll be evil retards running the country, and they're the ones that are going to blow up everything. So Sarah took an L on that show. I'll never watch her content again. Sarah's just a moderator, dude. She just moderates for fun. So, if you expected her to, actively debate, you don't understand her channel or her. Sarah's okay, but, she's not a participant. She's just a, referee. We are in God's kingdom. He reigns and rules. What is in Scripture to indicate he wants little kings acting in his place? Exactly, Mark. Exactly. It made God sad to give Israel king. Exactly, Mark. See, Mark already knows. Mark already knows. I don't have to explain anything to Mark, because he already gets it. So, congratulations, Mark. You're now part of the chorus, and so I'll be preaching to the chorus every time you hear about me talk about conservataria. And so it's an uphill battle, dude. Again, we have to deal with the Andrew Wilsons and the Jim Bobs of the world. And by the way, I'm still hopeful for Jim Bob. I want to talk to him. I think I can get through to him, but definitely not Wilson. Wilson's just too retarded. He drank all the Kool-Aid, and his own Kool-Aid, and and so so I think there's hope if I can get through to like a Jim Bob, or even maybe a DPH. I don't know if you've seen David Patrick Henry's channel called Church of the Eternal Logos or whatever. He's another ortho bro that I might be able to get through to. I don't know. It's going to be like pulling teeth. But anyways, yeah. So it's theoretically possible, but unlikely. Just mark me down for skeptical but hopeful. Because them dudes, as smart as they can get, ortho bros aren't really that dumb. It's just like they're kind of autistic in a way where they're almost intelligent, but then they miss that one last brain cell needed to make the connection between certain concepts. And so their Achilles heel is authoritarianism. And so I don't know why. I don't know where this idea came from. I don't know if this is like official Orthodox doctrine or something, or if it's just tradition. It's probably tradition, if I had to guess. Where they have this idea that God somehow has this master plan in the form of human monarchies or something, in which he will, you know, exert his power and authority to humans. And so I think it goes back to that old Catholic idea of, you know, the Pope is the, you know, magic hat that can pick out the Prince Charming of our world, and will make sure we have a benevolent ruler. And so therefore God would definitely not ever allow an evil human king to rule a country. And so I don't know, dude. Like I said, I'm kind of curious, just kind of see. I've never really gotten into it that much with them about that particular topic, but I'm curious, like, if it's like, you know, thousands of years of tradition that they've been taught this and brainwashed, you know, into believing this is actual reality or something. But I don't know, dude. But I mean, some of them seem kind of smart. Like I said, Jim Bob seems pretty smart. Like, I would actually debate him on stuff. I'd rather not debate him because, as Andrew Wilson has clearly illustrated, Ortho bros are not the best debaters, dude. I mean, they're kind of smart about stuff, but they're only good at, like, you know, debating butthurt atheists and stuff like that. Whenever you engage an well-educated Christian, they just buckle and face plant. And so I don't want to, like, embarrass Jim Bob or anything like that, but if he tries to debate me, it'll probably end up looking like that. And so I'd rather just see if there's a way we can, you know, reasonably and logically arrive at similar conclusions about stuff. So, yeah, if you're listening, Jim Bob, I've tried getting on your panels a couple of times, and you already know you keep me in limbo forever, because I know you don't want to talk to your buddy Fi, but I think if you give me a chance, I can make some progress with you guys. DPH won't ever engage me directly. He'll only engage me when all of you Ortho Bro gangs are in effect. And see, there's another thing, Jim Bob. You guys got to cut back on the Ortho Bro gangs, because that's Catholic stuff, man. You know, just be individuals, be smart. You're big boys. You can use your own words. So you don't need to tell me what Andrew Wilson thinks about XYZ, and likewise, I don't need all your little groupies to, you know, cheerlead for you while we're talking about something. So, if you're interested, Jim Bob, I am interested in talking to you directly, not the gang. Anyways, so yeah, there it is. They aren't priests. Jim Bob is smarter than Andrew, granted. It's because you're debating the wrong orthos. Bring in the right orthos. Who's the right orthos, Jack? Is it Jay Dyer or something? Or is it Jim Bob? Is it DPH? Because I haven't seen any good, you know, debaters. But again, I don't want to debate them so much per se, rather than engage some of them in, you know, good faith intellectual discussion. And so I think it can be done, but it's hard, dude. It's like trying to find a good Catholic to talk to, you know. Like good old Don Juan reminds me, I need to constantly read Aquinas instead of, you know, Don Juan telling me what his view of reality is. Go debate a priest. Nah, I'd rather not. If you're already, you know, a funny hat, you're probably too deep in the Kool-Aid to have an open, honest conversation. So you don't need to be smart to debate them. You only need to know you're saved by grace. Okay, Mark. So that may be a topic we have to discuss. Elaborate on what you mean by grace. How does one obtain God's grace, Mark? And by the way, are you ready to panel up? Because we may have to do a religion stream on this, Mark. You're off to a good start. Enlighten the audience as to how one achieves God's grace, Mark, in as much detail as possible. Just to make sure, just assume I'm an agnostic atheist and I know nothing about your religion. So talk to me like I'm a 3-year-old. And how does one obtain God's grace, Mark? The priests are the right ones. He oversold Thomas. You can't beat Thomas easy. He allowed sleeping with 12-year-old. Yeah. So, like I said, there's all kinds of big sloppy messes to unpack once you start getting into human politics and stuff. But, I'll get to that in a minute. First, I gotta see if we have other stuff to discuss, because concepts were brought up. You don't achieve it. God offers it to you freely from the work He did on the cross. It is a gift from God. Okay, Mark. Do you have free time right now, and are you able to use a microphone to speak on a YouTube channel? I was going to bring this up with Daisy eventually, but I'm sure she would appreciate you taking that bullet for her, because I would probably hurt her feelings by the end of the discussion. So if you're open to discuss that topic, I would be more than happy to get into it with you right now if you have some free time. All right. Woo! Okay, folks, I'm going to take a break from the video game stream. I'm getting ready to use my new mic jack, so tell me if there's too much popping when I talk, because I ordered a windsock for my new microphone, but I notice it still pops whenever I talk into it, so I'll try to not talk directly into it, which may make my voice sound weaker, but just give me some audio feedback, Jack, because no one else will tell me when it's good or bad. So anyways, video gamers, we're going to take a break. Mark Livgren would like to talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so I'm going to talk to him about that, and we'll see if we can agree by the end of the discussion. If we were both wrong, if one of us was wrong, or, whatever. Because we both can't be right. So let's see. All right, be right back. I'm going to go ahead and kill this stream, and then Mark, please check back, or actually, let me go ahead and create the link just in case I, flubber somewhere. Hold on, while we're in the video game stream, I'm going to give you the link, and then I'll hop over to it in here in about 5 minutes. By the way, my voice is scratchy, so bear with me on that as well. I can't do anything about that. I'm also almost out of StreamYard time for this month, so I may have to cut that stream short. It may suddenly end and say you ran out of StreamYard time, so you may have to wait a month until we pick this up again. I'm just going to call this one, Hi Mark. Oh, hi Mark. How does that movie guy say it? Oh, hi Mark, the guy that made the movie that's with the long black hair. Okay, so you've almost reached your monthly limit. I see. This is what the problem with cheap bastards like me. I've got free StreamYard, and I have a monthly limit, and I'm about to hit it. So if this chat gets cut short, you know why. By the way, we can always do it some other time. Or, if it's super important, I'll, just buy a thing. So, there is the thing. Okay, I'm going to put it in chat now. Here you go, Mark. So, click on that. Or you can just look on my channel for the soon-to-pop-up live video stream, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully it'll last the whole time. I'm almost maxed out on my StreamYard time, so we'll see how much time I have left for this month, whatever that means. Okay. Yeah, take a second. Yeah, get your stuff going and just let me know as soon as you can hop over there. No rush, just whenever you arrive is good enough. Alright, video gamers, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and then do a religion live stream chat, so BRB. Or maybe not BRB, maybe it'll be back in an hour or two. Depends.